Okay, so we're going to start right now. Sorry about that confusion there. The way it'll work in general is that I'll be able to speak. You guys will be able to hear me. Also chat and comment question using the chat on the bottom left. Please don't use, there's a way to ask questions on the top of the viewer there. Please don't use that, as I probably won't see those questions. If you have a question, use the chat in the bottom left and I'll see those. All right, so this month's webinar, it's the third webinar we're doing in the webinar series. To all of you who have been here before, welcome back. This time we're going to be speaking about our MobileMule mobile DVR series. So this is camera recording devices that are mobile, so they can be put into vehicles and can be used to record all camera feeds connected to them. So I'm going to start just with a quick overview of the series, and then I'm going to bring in our DVR expert to kind of speak in more detail about each one of the DVR options that we have. So just a quick overview on the MobileMule series. Oh, sorry, before we start on the actual devices, we'll speak quickly about the benefits of recording video in general. So DVRs are becoming more and more popular, especially with fleets of vehicles, school buses, trucks, and the reason is really simple. You easily have a very good return on investment with installing a DVR system and cameras. You'll save money on insurance. You will have proof of fault in case of an accident. So, if one of your drivers gets into an accident, you could see if it's not the driver's fault, and that can save thousands of dollars. Customer disputes. So, if you have, let's say, a bus or a truck or something that customers are involved with, you'll be able to see, if a customer disputes something or complains about something, you'll be able to see easily whether that really happened, and you'll have proof of that. Ken, it seems like you're having some trouble with the audio. Is anyone else having trouble with the audio, or you guys can hear me okay? Voice very choppy. All right, guys, give us just a second. Let me see if I can fix this. One other question, we just got a complaint as well about not being able to see the screen. Are you guys able to see the screen? The screen that I'm sharing, are you able to see the the PowerPoint presentation? Mixed responses. Okay, give me just a second. Let me see if we can improve the audio. Hi, is this better? Is the audio better now? We'll try on fixing the screen now. Give me just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Some technicalities. Seems like everyone can see now and everyone can hear now, so looks like we're in business. Better. Good. Okay, let's just start again quickly from the benefits of recorded video. So, like I was saying, it gives you a very good return on investment when you install DVR systems and camera systems. A number of reasons, a number of situations where you'll save money. One is on insurance. Your insurance costs could go down by installing these systems. You'll also have proof of fault in case of an accident. So this is a big one. If you or someone in your fleet or group of vehicles gets into an accident, you always have the option now of pulling up video and seeing if that really was your fault, your driver's fault, or the other person in the accident's fault. And this can save thousands of dollars, We have a video that we shared on YouTube about a year or so ago with one of our DVR systems where a driver was going through, a school bus driver was going through just a regular green light and got sideswiped by some kind of vehicle coming through a red light. And, without a DVR system, there would be no way to prove who was wrong. And with the DVR system, they were able to save, literally thousands of dollars. So always good to have, stuff recorded. Also in the case of customer disputes, if you have like a bus or any vehicle where you're kind of transporting customers, there can be complaints and disputes. If you don't have a recording, you'll have no way to know whether it's really true and whether it's really your fault or it's just like an angry, customer. There's another good benefit as well. Another thing that is beneficial with installing DVR systems is that your drivers will just perform better. Anyone knowing that they're being recorded kind of picks up their game. So drivers will perform better. You'll get better, performance out of everyone involved. Also, you'll also be able to review the drive and driving route. So this is after the fact, after the vehicles have come back into, let's say if you're a fleet, they come back into the lot. You're able to pull up the footage, either manually or remotely, and you can review the drive, see what they did, see what, where they went, if they're doing the right thing, if everything's working correctly. The last 2 points over here, where you can monitor and view remotely, that's only relevant to some of our DVRs. We'll get into it in more detail soon. But some of our DVRs have the option to view the footage remotely as long as the vehicle is within 3G or 4G range. So that's really, really, cool and beneficial for fleet managers. They can be in their office and they can view footage from the vehicles while they're on the road. So basically, there's a whole bunch of reasons why DVRs are, important, beneficial, and why they're becoming more and more popular. So let's just take a look quickly at our DVR range. So this is our MobileMule DVR range, and there's 5 different DVRs in the series. Starting from the 2-channel one on the top left there, the MobileMule 2100, a really basic system. It's just it can take 2 camera inputs, and it just records the video feeds that come into it. That's really, very basic kind of features. Next, we have the 4-channel. It's a little bit more, feature-rich. It has GPS, so you can record not only the video feeds, but even the location and speed of the vehicle. So a whole bunch more detail there, and it takes 4 cameras. You have another 4-camera DVR, not only with GPS, but that has live video remote viewing. So this is one of the ones that I mentioned before, where you can actually access remotely while the vehicle's on the road. So it has a 3G and 4G access. So as long as the vehicle's within 3G or 4G, you can log into software either on your computer or even on a mobile app and view that footage remotely, even download it. You can view events. There's a whole bunch of really cool things. We'll get into it shortly. Next, we have our 2 8-channel DVRs, and there's the basic one with just the GPS. And then there's the more advanced one with the GPS and the live remote viewing. So basically, in short, we have a 2-channel, a 4-channel, 8-channel, and then in those we have some with live video and some without. That's the main differences between them. Okay, so here's a graph that we're going to look at just very briefly to show you the differences between them, between the DVRs. As you can see, the main difference would be the cameras that are able to be connected between them. So basic one is 2, and then 2 of them are 4, and then the 8 channels. And then from all of them, the 5520 and the 8170 is the one, if you can see my cursor down below, that have the remote viewing. So they can be viewed with 3G and 4G access, with a mobile app as well. And as you can see, the 2-channel is really much more basic than the rest of them. So before we get into more detail, are there any questions so far? All right, no questions is good. Any general questions, or we'll move along. What we'll do now is we'll get into some more detail with regards to each of these DVRs. So we'll just look at them a little bit more closely, and then we'll end off with an actual demonstration of the software, where we'll log into live DVRs that are on the road, where we'll be able to see how the software works and how the live viewing works. And then we'll have some questions at the end, and we'll end like that. So I'm going to bring in our DVR expert. His name is Shawn Bukiet. He's going to run through the rest of the DVRs in a little bit more detail now.
Okay, thank you, James. So picking up where James left off, I'm going to go into some details in regards to the different DVR setups. So the first one up is our MobileMule 2100, and this is a 2-channel mobile DVR. So this allows for 2 cameras to be recorded up simultaneously. The max resolution for this DVR is 640 by 480, so that's basically our basic analog cameras. This doesn't have any proprietary software, so it just writes on an MP4 compression, so you just take out the SD card, plug it into a computer, and view the video that way. It takes one SD card for up to 128 gig. So on a 2-camera setup, 128 gig, you're getting roughly about a week and a half worth of data. The power consumption, or the power for this DVR, can go anywhere from 5 volts up to a 30-volt setup, so from a regular car to a big commercial vehicle. It has 3 different recording setups, so it's either on power up, you can either hit it manually, or for an event trigger. So if you want to have it just like on shock or emergency button, you can have the recording set up that way. And that way on playback, you can just view from an event folder. As well as it has some 2-alarm trigger wires that you can set up, that either for a door or a brake, every time those were activated, it would create an event, and then you can just view it that way, from just the events, instead of going through a day's worth of data to find what happened. So this is what the 2-channel DVR. Here we go to our 4-channel setup. Again, basic, no live. When this has up to 4 cameras you can put up here. You can even add a 5th channel, which is an IP camera. So technically, this is a 5-channel setup, and it takes the video footage and it compresses it to on a standard format, H.264 video compression. So it compresses the data, so you get obviously more, the maximum storage capacity. It records onto 228 gig SD cards, which gives you a total storage capacity of 256 gig. It has built-in GPS and G-sensor. And what that is basically on playback for the GPS, this would allow you to view where the vehicle was, as well as how fast it was going. It doesn't actually function like a GPS. You can't put in like directions, but on playback you get to see where on Google Maps the vehicle was and how fast it was going. As well as the G-sensor, you can set it up that, again, for impact, for speed, and stuff like that, it saves that to a special event folder, which then allows you to go back and just view the events that occurs. You don't have to go through the entire day to see what happened. You can just have it where you log in and see the triggered events. Again, that would never get rewritten over. So on that, it would just be, you would have that, it would save, and that would only get rewritten over if you actually format the hard drive or the disks. So the events never get rewritten over, versus the normal recording, that would just rewrite over itself. So as the cards get filled up, it would reloop over the old and continue with the new. So again, it does have rewrites over the old footage with the new footage. But again, for the events, never until you actually format the disks. It does have up to a 24-hour delay shutoff, which is a nice feature, because in the event that like a moving company or delivery company that makes frequent stops and actually turns off the vehicle, but you still want it to be able to record all the cameras, it can do that. So even if the ignition is off, it would pull power from the battery, which then would allow you to, say for up to an hour, 3 hours, 12 hours, or again up to 24 hours, to have it pull power from the battery directly and not the ignition. And then it has multiple trigger events, so you can also add a monitor to this if you wanted to, have the backup camera get displayed on the monitor. You can do that with these triggered events. So backup, right, left, but it still would simultaneously record all the cameras. It would just display that particular camera that gets triggered on the monitor. So our 5520, this is the live mobile DVR, the live with remote viewing. Again, it's the 4 channels with the 5th channel being an IP camera, so essentially making this DVR a 5-camera setup. It compresses it to the H.264 video compression, and this actually this records onto a hard drive. So it goes anywhere. It goes up to a 2 terabytes. You can put it in 256, 1 terabyte, and again all the way up to a 2 terabyte. The nice thing about this is that it also has a SD card mirror recording. So in the event that the hard drive were to fail or get corrupted, you wouldn't lose that footage because again it would mirror it onto a SD card for up to 128 gigs. So you would at least the last, probably 24 to 48 hours of data that would be, secured on the SD card. So it's just a mirroring backup onto the SD card, which is a great feature. It has built-in GPS and G sensor. So with the live, now you can be able to log in from the software, which we'll show you momentarily. You can see where the bus or the vehicle is at that particular time and how fast it's going. Again, also on playback, on the download, you would see that, just on the recorded footage. It's live. So the way this DVR works is that it's compatible with AT&T, T-Mobile, and now Verizon. And it takes just a standard size SD card, a standard size SIM card, and that plugs into the front of the unit, right by the lock over there, and it slides in there, and it kind of essentially functions like a cell phone. And then it has that little lock, so you lock it, so the driver or anybody can never get a hold of it. That in there is obviously the hard drive, the SIM card, and the SD card, and that's all under lock and key. Again, that you can be able to log in remotely, and that has this unit has a Android and iOS app, as well as obviously a computer software. It has the 24-hour delay shutdown, and again multiple trigger inputs. So this is for the 4-channel. Moving right along, this is our 8-channel DVR, so similar to our 5520, which is the basic setup. So again, just the GPS and the G sensor. So on playback, you get to see how, where and how fast the vehicle was going. Again, this essentially is actually a 9-channel DVR because you get to do 8 regular analog or AHD cameras, as well as 1 IP camera, which goes into the RJ45 port in the back. Again, the RJ45 port is for the IP camera only. It cannot be used to plug in like direct Ethernet connection to it. Again, up to 2 terabyte hard drive, mirror recording onto the SD card, the built-in GPS and G sensor, delay shutdown, and multiple triggers available. Going to the 8170, this is again similar to our 5520, where it has the live view and the remote viewing, making this either an 8/9-channel DVR with all the bells and whistles, with the remote capability for the fleet manager or vehicle manager. Here we have just again a quick synopsis on the timing. So for the SD card size and how many hours you would get per the DVR. So on a 64 gig SD card, again full HD is 26 hours, HD 36, D1 is 50 hours, 600 TVL is 60, and then 480, which is the lowest, obviously, is the highest. And you have to understand, obviously, nothing is set in stone. It all depends on the resolution that you're recording on. If it has audio, how many days of footage, how many hours, I'm sorry, you're recording per day. So these all take into account of how many hours you'll get per storage, for storage capacity. But this gives you a general idea of roughly what you can expect per the hard drive space and size. Here are some of the camera examples that we have. Again, usually going off to the left there is our standard backup camera. Moving to the right is our side camera, and then our interior dome camera, and then our heated camera, and then our 150-degree angle backup camera. So the standard backup camera is at 130, and then we go a little bigger. Someone needs a little bigger, 450. All right, so Christopher has a question here, and he asks, can I view all the cameras remotely or only with the IP cam? And the answer is that you can absolutely view all the cameras remotely, simultaneously, and we'll show you that in a moment, as long as you have, obviously the live and you have service. So the service we don't provide. That's something obviously you go through either AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon, and it's just a standard data plan. Dustin Young has a question. Your website doesn't show size specs for the cameras. Dustin, it should. If you go into each particular camera, there should be a spec sheet that does have all that information. And again, feel free if you have any specific questions, you can always give us a call at our 800 number. Okay, perfect. Well, moving right along is a big thank you to all you guys that joined us. And now we will kind of demonstrate the software for the live. Okay, so here is the software. So I'm just going to kind of double click on that. Now open up here. Again, this is a customer that did give us permission to log in. And the username, his password. Okay, perfect. So I'll log on here. He actually only has 2 cameras per vehicle, one facing the interior and one facing the driver. And we'll pull that up. Again, it might be a little bit choppy on your end because it's a video through a remote session, so it's like going through 2 setups. But obviously on the live, it's seamless. So right here, obviously you see the driver as well as where he is. I can zoom in over here onto the right-hand side, and that's the map. It tells me his location as well as his speed. And this would again bring me back out here. And I can scroll on to any of these buses, any of these vehicles, and it will bring me to that location. So this particular user has 3 vehicles that are on now. You see the ones that are in gray over here off to the left-hand side. That's technically he has them on his fleet, but they're not on or active at this moment. And I can kind of scroll out and show you. There they are. Here's one. Here's the second, and here's the third. These are where all his whole fleet is. And this is again the live. You see how nice it is. It's beautiful. This is live. I mean, on the download, it will be a lot nicer. I can also track the vehicle. So if I wanted to go back, let's say from yesterday, and just pull footage, this would kind of give you a breadcrumb of the day. Go here. And there you go. This is the breadcrumb of the entire day. I'll just pause that for a sec. and zoom in, and there you go. And this is the drive of the entire day that it pulled up. If I wanted to pull up to a particular time, obviously I would just select it over here. I just pulled the entire day, 24 hours, but it gives you the route, as well as it tells you if it was driving. It will be a different color if it was idling, and here's a different color that it stopped. Again, this is just the breadcrumb of the day. If I wanted to actually pull footage remotely now, right? So now I want to say, hey, something happened yesterday or 2 days ago, and I want to pull that footage to see it. So I would go to pick a vehicle. So if I pick the vehicle, it would download all the cameras. Or if I know of a particular camera that I was looking to view, I would just select a particular camera, and again pulling it just from the entire day from yesterday. So literally from 12 to 12, and then hitting search. So right now, again, it's finding that data. It should pull it up here in a moment. Okay, so Steve Orr got a question here. It says, can you give us a ballpark airtime cost? What I've always found is if you go on the system once an hour for about 5 minutes, as just to kind of keep an eye on the fleet, make sure that they're behaving, about 5 gig of data a month per vehicle is ample. Obviously, if you're going to be downloading, like I'm doing right now, constantly, then you're going to be chewing through more data. Or if you're having to just stream live consistently, then obviously it's going to be more data. But usually an hour, once an hour for about 5-7 minutes an hour is 5 gig of data is ample. So here you go. Here it found that file. Again, I can just pull any one. And the nice thing about this is I can either download it or I can view it remotely. So if I wanted to make sure that I'm in the right general area of the time that I'm looking for, I can hit remote play, and that would pull it just remotely. I can see it live. But I can just hit download. Now it's going to pull it from. Let's do 10. p.m. to 11 p.m. AM. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go. So now you're going to see that it's going to start pulling this footage remotely, and you'll see the download progress as it pulls it up here. And again, this is all dependent, obviously, if he's in a 4G, if he's in a 4G state, if he has a lot of data on his car, and it just would depend all there. Dustin Young, okay, you're pulling the data from the system, the vehicle. I'm presuming it works similar if you were pulling from the SD card. Yes. So Dustin, yes, you're pulling the footage actually from the vehicle itself. So here you go. It's starting to download. You're pulling it from the either hard drive or the SD card, depending on which one the data is on. And yes, you can overlap all the vehicles on the map as well. You can see, just where your entire fleet is at one instant by just going to the map and just zooming out a little bit and seeing where all the vehicles are. So here we go. Let's open this a little bit and put this in. Okay, I'm gonna try a different file here. Oh, Ken Hall, sorry. Can you download via Wi-Fi? The answer is no. Because we actually host this, so the Wi-Fi wouldn't work because it would have to be connected to technically our Wi-Fi. We now do all the hosting, so really for the end user or for yourselves, it's really just a plug-and-play setup. We basically pre-configure the DVR out the door, so when you guys or the customer gets it, they would be able to just take their SIM card and be able to plug it in, and then have everything ready to go. Let me show you some downloaded footage. Back here. I'm going to log in somewhere else. Let's show you. Yeah, I'm going to log into another customer so you guys get a better idea of how many people, of how many vehicles. All right, here's another fleet customer of ours, and this customer actually has the 8-channel, so just gonna open them all up here. And the nice thing about this as well is that on the live, the resolution is dummied down just for data consumption as well as just to make basically data consumption. But on the download, the footage is a lot sharper. So just to give you an idea, here we go. All right, so that's basically the DVR. And then I got one more question here. Can you overlap for historical data or just live? On the download, so once you download it, you can export it, and then yes, you can have the capability of overlap. So let me just do a quick. All right, so I'm just going to wrap up, and if whoever needs to go. I just wanted to kind of just show you on the recorded footage, but that's no big deal. So I'll get you back over to James, and he'll just wrap it up.
Thank you, guys. If you want, you can hang out. Shawn's going to try pull some downloaded footage. You can check it out. If not, any more questions, we'll still be online for a couple of minutes just if you want to check out the recorded downloaded footage and if you have any more questions. But thank you guys so much for joining. Okay, seems like there weren't too many more questions, so we're going to log out for now. We do these once every 2 months, so make sure to tune into our next one. You'll get updated by email. in about 2 months' time from now. Once again, thank you, and we'll see you next time.